Namaskaram everyone. So in this video I want to give you a little bit of my life updates. There are three aspects that I'm working on within myself to break certain repetitive cycles and habit related actions that are happening. What I'm adopting in the last few months is something which is popularly known as slow living. I'm staying in my house and going about in a not a very different routine from what I did earlier, but there are a few major differences. So in this video I want to talk about three aspects which I am working on within myself, and I can create content on any three of these topics. So I would like your views on which topic you would find most interesting and which one I should focus on in the future. You can comment below and share your views, or you can there's a poll going on the community post option, so you can look at that as well. So one of the first ones is my inability to cook nourishing meals, and I'm not even looking at 2 meals a day, I'm looking at 1 meal a day. I want to be able to cook one nourishing meal every day. Even if I don't say every day, at least 5 to 6 days a week. I can understand one day I took a holiday. So even during all of my travels, I would have, it would be really great if I could cook at least one nourishing meal every single day. Then that kind of sorts out my food stuff. The second meal one can have lighter, one can take milk, fruits, all that stuff also. So that kind of would have been good, but I am working on it now and it's going decently okay. There are two aspects about cooking a nourishing meal. One is that our understanding of nourishment is drastically changing. Like take in my childhood, what would we consider good nourishing meal, a home good food? We would consider roti, rice, dal and vegetable. Even salad was not that common earlier on. And in these four, if you realize, the roti has because it is made of wheat, and there is so much of negative stuff going on about wheat, and they are saying substitute wheat with jowar and a lot of other grains, in which case roti by itself is difficult. And rice also, white rice is also being has all of these problems that are being highlighted, so we have to move to different forms of rice. So in this way you see, it's like a fundamental blocks what we considered the nourishing meal are being questioned, and the reasoning that is being given, we can't simply reject it also, right? And the second part is what I have realized very late in my life actually, is that our nutrition has to be as per our prakruti. And by prakruti I am thinking of the Ayurvedic prakruti, vata pitta kapha, because I am a student of Ayurveda. I have learnt Ayurveda, so it makes sense for me to use that frame to think about things. But obviously for anyone else through a different stream, you could think of it differently. But so I realized very late in life that because I am a dominant vata prakruti, I need a high level of protein. See, it is not necessary every dominant vata prakruti will need so much protein, because there are always different elements involved. My prakruti requires a lot of protein, and that's what I'm now incorporating in the last couple of months, where I've started this slow living and just doing this in a very conscious and mindful way. I have started having a lot more protein, and that is also a very complex thing, because one of the problems with protein is that a lot of protein sources are difficult to digest. So you either have to look at easy to digest protein sources, or you need to enhance your digestive capacity using some herbs and things like that. So all of these things have to be thought through. I really want to come to a stage where I can be confident that one nourishing meal every single day I will be able to prepare on my own. And sometimes I slip and then I remain calm, because I am in learning phase. I understand that. There are a lot of things I can share actually in terms of nutrition and all, which is related to a sadhaka all the time. So let me know if this topic interests you a lot. The second one is about decluttering. One is because I keep shifting houses and I travel a lot. A lot of times it comes to a place where I need to pack up, which means that all of the perishable items and a lot of other items I start giving away, and it has happened too often that I have a whole bag full of stuff which I need to give away to someone, and I feel a little crappy because see, they may not even want it, it's like even if I give it to my domestic helper, or sometimes I give it to the watchman, the thing is, this is a random bunch of stuff that I have bought. They may have never bought in their life. Now they are getting to use it. I don't know what kind of mental tendencies it may create for them. I feel if you want to give someone something, let us think thoughtfully of what would be best for them and give that instead of simply just exporting dump from my house because I just have so much of it. So I realized I really need decluttering, and the second reason I realized this is because it runs in my family, that the houses get very cluttered. I think at some point it ran in the Indian culture simply because it is a survivalistic method to have a lot of stuff in the house in case there is safety situation is bad outside, then you have everything inside. If there's a drought or a famine, you have all your food grains and etc. inside, but that's not the case anymore. So I really see a need for decluttering, and I've started working on it. It's going really well actually. I have started exploring a lot of the popular methods of decluttering like minimalism, KonMari method. All of these things are so mainstream now. There is such a lot of good content for me to look at on YouTube and all, so that's what I'm looking at. Then I have adjusted these methods, taken a little bit from here and there and kind of made my own thing, and I have figured out like what is my plan of action for this. I can share all of these things. It will be, I think, really interesting. Let me know if that is something you would like to see. What this also includes is decluttering from the Indian spiritual perspective. I believe that will connect to the concept of aparigraha. I don't know if you've heard of it, but aparigraha basically means that you don't covet things. Obviously this meaning can go really deeper, and that's also something I want to look at. And the third really big shift that is happening in my life is that I quit my job in August. I did plan to create side income streams and all of that stuff, and it's kind of going okay. In fact, this YouTube channel is doing really well, which should at some point play at least some role in my monetization activity, but don't worry about it because content creation is like a big part of my life. So while I may look at making money in some way from it, it will never become like a pure commercial thing. This will only work if I am able to change my mindset and just do things a lot more mindfully and meditatively. So it's a whole process that I'm looking at, and in this I also have a whole bunch of friends who are moving in the same direction. When I talk to some of my relatives, they are actually shocked as to why at such a young age I'm looking at quitting jobs and looking at doing side incomes, and what is there to focus so much on spirituality. But thankfully I have this huge circle of sadhaka friends who are looking at the same thing. A lot of them, because they are married or they may have other obligations, like to take care of their parents or other things, they are not able to take the step as I have done now, but a lot of them are trying to move in the same direction, and a lot of them are doing in different ways. So in this series of content I can bring you all of these stories and things like that. So these are 3 things I can work on, and probably eventually I will bring all of this content to you anyways, because it is stuff I am working on and it is stuff I can share with you. But I would like to know, what would you like to know first? I don't know if you've realized, because one of my biggest stop gaps right now is my speed of churning out stories, because I have, even today from my road trip that I did the few months back, I have some 20 videos that I just need to edit and put out. But my speed of putting stuff out is pretty slow, and I'm still working on it. And of course all of the other stuff will happen, like all my vlogs on travel and interviewing other sadhakas and bringing other life stories to you will also keep happening. So, and apart from that, tell me what's happening with you. Are you in any way adopting slow living or alternative lifestyle from the usual rut of things? Do share these stories with me, they are so fascinating.